Yes, I love this movie. And not only do I love this movie, I think this might be the best superhero movie I've seen in a long time. No joke, I could put this up there in my top 10. This movie managed to do something I haven't seen a lot of superhero movies do, and that's having a superhero actually being a hero, prioritizing protecting people over winning a fight, and only fighting to protect the people. The plot of this movie feels like it was tailor-made to show how good of a person Clark Kent was, and to show us how that goodness affects everyone around him. He is so good, in fact, that a bulk of Lex's plans to take him down was to abuse his kindness and willingness to help people. Clark is shown to be a gentle giant, someone who is very naive to how his superpowers could be interpreted by others who don't know his intentions. This causes him a lot of troubles, as his actions can then easily be misinterpreted or even mispresented, and this is the center point of Lex Luthor's plan. Lex did everything he could to destroy Superman, and unlike a lot of other villains' definition of destroy, he wants to end all good Superman can possibly produce, and that means ending him physically, mentally, and socially. This is why he is the head of supervillains, the man with the Mamba mentality. Death is not enough to end his hate. For those still asking, that's why he didn't just instantly execute Superman once he had him in custody.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
The interview. Not only is this scene amazing, but it also introduces us to how these characters are going to act and express themselves. This isn't just an interview, it's an argument that shows us how these two people think and act. We have Clark, the guy who wants to do the best he can and has the power to do so, and Lois, the reporter who wants to get the truth out at all costs. Lois comes off as someone who is more attached to her work than anything else, so when her relationship with Clark conflicts with her reporting, she begins to pull back. The development of the relationship is something done so well that by the end of the movie I felt like I was a part of it. In the interview, we see the relationship dynamic pretty clearly. Clark talks like he's speaking to his girlfriend, and Lois talks like she's a reporter with leaked information. Clark emotes and clearly lets the questions get to him, but when Clark's remarks get to Lois, she keeps quiet and turns up the heat.
You think this is going well?
Do I think this is going well? I think I'm doing a good job.
Superman, did you consult with the president before entering Bravian airspace?
No.
When all is said and done, although this starts off as an interview with a confident Superman, it ends with a Clark appearing defeated by the personal questioning of his actions, while Lois also appears defeated because she let her pride get the better of her, resorting to using more and more personal questions to get a reaction out of Clark.
Hashtag super spy, hashtag super shit.
Super shit? Come on, Lois. You know that one specifically irritates
This is
me.
on the record, Clark.
That's why when Clark leaves, she looks saddened by the outcome of what should have been a nice night with a fun interview. She knows she messed up and made things worse with this.
I knew this would never work.
What does that mean?
This comment clearly hurts Clark's feelings, but yet again her pride comes in the way and she lets him walk away. I've seen a lot of people talk about how much this interview shows us about Clark, but someone needs to talk about how much this interview showed us about Lois. We get a full grasp of her character from this 12-minute scene, after which she starts considering ending things with Clark, running away from their relationship because she's too scared or prideful to work through their issues, a character flaw that caused the interview in the first place. She had issues with the way Clark operated as Superman, but instead of talking to him, she centered it around work.
Is that really how you feel?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman, but I question it.
You never want to talk about relationship problems like you're an objective journalist. This is why I think this interview began to irritate Clark, but if she wanted to end things with Clark, why didn't she?
You have a dog?
No, not really. It's more of a foster situation.
Throughout this movie, we see a few characters that end up making decisions that didn't really track with their previous behavior. All these characters do have something that caused them to change, and it's the big blue man himself. With Lois, it's her last talk with Superman before he turns himself in. In the conversation they have, she fully realizes that Superman doesn't need a reason to do what he does. He's just truly kind. Something so inspiring that we see her react with complete emotion and vulnerability for the first time. And the cherry on top?
I love you, Lois. I probably should have told you that a long time ago.
After this clip, Lois is on a warpath to save her boyfriend. She acts with the same impulsiveness she criticized in the interview, but now she sees things the same way Superman does. This ability to inspire is why the Justice Gang is in this movie. Superman doesn't only inspire the regular folk, he also inspires superheroes. He and Spider-Man share the same aura. The Justice Gang shows us how Superman's image alone makes the world a better place. The gang is pretty adamant against operating outside the box, which is challenged when they see people in need, and although they raise a flag for Superman, the gang knows these people just need someone to save them. When the gang sees the symbol of hope, it's hard not to act and uphold it. This is why they're in the movie, and I love that it respects the audience enough not to handhold us through how Superman inspires people, even though they've only met him once. It's time to talk about the main man himself. It's funny how this, to me, is the most Superman has been in a long time, and we're all going through a Superman whiplash. People who enjoyed the dark, not really Superman are shocked this is the Superman people have been wanting, and the people who were convinced they didn't like Superman are finding out they actually love him. I've always said if a Superman can't handle the stress Daredevil has to go through on a daily, then he is no symbol of hope. Although we haven't seen this Superman get pushed to the brink of an emotional breakdown, we have seen him get mad, and we are not made to feel like he is dangerous because of that. We see the world turn against him, and not once does he think the people are ungrateful or have an attitude towards them. He just keeps helping, and I think that makes his act more pure. He's someone who tries to talk to his ops before it's time for the smoke, and while the smoke is being dealt, he still tries to bring the best out of them. These things some might consider little are what sold me on this Superman. They show that when he says,
I wasn't representing anybody except for me around the world, more than a war that lasted between 12 and 24 hours and was just...
he really means it. The distrust the public felt with the reveal of that message doesn't affect how those who know him see him. They only ask questions because a moment of doubt cannot destroy the amount of work they've seen him put in.
I'm not here to rule over anybody, Lois.
I never thought you were, even for a moment, Clark.
Is Supes here to take over the world? I don't know, probably not. But
although a lot of people have an issue with how his parents are depicted, I believe this was one clever way to express why Superman is the picture of immigration, in a similar way that it is dealt with in the Hitman issue I talked about a while ago. He is sent to Earth with all this baggage from Krypton to make Earth a Krypton too, but instead follows his own instincts to use his powers to make Earth a better Earth. While watching this full message, everyone else is just as appalled. There is no disconnect between him and the people because he is from Earth. He is human in the place that counts. That's why I love this speech at the end. He's obviously frustrated by the image Lex has painted of him because he takes pride in being human. Criticism of this Superman often falls into the trap of saying he is too godlike to behave like a regular guy, but I think that completely misses the point of Superman. Yes, his powers make him stronger, but that doesn't put him above anyone else. If a story portrays Superman as someone you should be scared of just because he raised his voice out of frustration, you have failed to make a good Superman. I would like to talk more about this movie, but I feel like everything else I have to say has been said before already, and I didn't want to rehash a lot of what has been said in more popular Superman reviews because it's come off as me just milking this or just you guys watching the same thing. And I do want this to be my last full video on Superman. So I'm just going to try to talk about all the criticism I have seen about this movie and how I think a lot of them are unfair compared to how people normally critique movies. After this movie's release, like every other movie, there has been a lot of criticism pointed towards it. Some are valid, most not really. What makes a lot of critiques fall flat is the fact that a lot of them are based on a strange drive to find something wrong. And I'm not talking about things that are wrong with the story, but to find something wrong to complain about, something that wouldn't really help the story if it wasn't like that anyway. I've addressed some of these, but this is going to be my last full focused video on this movie. I might have some shorts throughout here and there, but I'm just too tired of fighting a good fight. And at this point, I believe there's nothing you could do to convince someone who doesn't like this movie to change their mind or to give the movie another chance. This movie also just looks amazing. Look at the camera movements, look at how he flies and spins. Everything is so bright. And we're going to get Supergirl after this. DC fans are in good.